Okay, we've set up all of our files in our folder for EQ web sort. As a reminder, they're here in my study. And I am going to now, again, using EQ web configurator to walk me through, even though I've done it a lot of times. So I have never used Netlify to host, and I've never used Google Sheets. I've always used Firebase for hosting. Um, and so as we go through here, right, we get to choose what we want to do. So maybe I'll make a video about doing it on Netlify, which is where I host all of my EQ web sort programs. But again, I have put my database in Firebase, which is a Google company. So here are the setups for creating this database. I'm already at my console here. Obviously, I've used Firebase a number of times, so I'm going to create a new project. I'm going to call it attendance, right? And maybe I'll call it faculty attendance, because I plan on doing another one that has to do with students' views of attendance. I'm not going to use AI. I'm not going to enable Gemini, right? I'm not going to enable Google Analytics for this project. Now I'm going to create my project, and I'm going to wait for it to cook. I come over here, and right, so I've done these things. I created my project. I'm waiting for it again to cook for us to see that little space. And then I have to initialize my database. There are a number of different options, but we're going to use the real-time database. So it's done cooking. I'm going to say continue. And now it looks slightly different over here. So I have to find my, let's see, it might be under here. Oh, don't want Firestone. That's very close, but that's not what I want. Right, so gonna look for real-time analytics. Right, so I want, oh, I'm just gonna have to go over here, I think now. Right, so there's my web. Right. Oh, here we go. Maybe. All right, let's take a look again. This is why I like this. So it's changed a little bit. This happens all the time. Software is dynamic, as it should be. We don't want to use software that's not up to date, because if nothing else, it's a security risk. So I need to go to project overview and right and then build. So let's go back here. So here's build, authentication. That's Firestore. Oh, there's the real-time database. I just missed it in my looking. I don't want to ask Gemini. I'm going to create my database. I'm in the US. And let's make sure how I'm supposed to start it off. So we'll go down here, right? Did that, right? So we're going to start in locked mode. So we're going to come back over to our website, start in locked mode, enable. And so there we are. So we're off to a decent start. So now we're just going to follow down. And next we're going to go and we're going to click on, right, our configurator. Let's see. Yep. So we did enable. So we're going to, oh, that's what we got right now. And now I'm going to click on rules, right? And then edit rules. And very important, this is the newest set of rules that we're going to paste in. So we're going to go back here. We're going to go to rules. Right? We're going to, oops, there we go. We can highlight all of these. And then we're going to paste what we copied. And then we're going to publish. And then we're going to go over here and say, all right, so we have that. Right, we've hit publish. Now I'm going to go to build and authentication. And we'll make sure that we pick the right steps next. Again, this is why I always start with the novice. It's not like I do this every day. So I want to get to the get started, not asking Gemini. So here we have a number of choices. At least for my study, it is going to be anonymous. So there it is, anonymous and enabled. So I've done that. Skip through a couple of these, right? So looking good. So now I'm going to go to my configurator. So I'm going to go back to project overview, back to the Firebase dashboard, and I'm going to look for this little like HTML symbol. So I'm going to go back. Whoops. Here we go. There's that symbol, the web. I need to register my app name, right? So that's just how it shows up. So I'm going to call it faculty attendance. Check in to see if I'm getting everything. All right, right? Not, we're going to then just register our app. And then we're going to use script tag. So come over here. We're going to register our app. Gonna wait a hot second. All right, so we're going to use script tag. And so here, right, we have basically some text, right? And so this is where we can't mess this up. So we are going to go down where it says your web apps Firebase configuration. We're going to copy that, and then we're going to paste it into here because we're going to need to have it go to our folder, a specific file. So we're going to go back over here. Here's your web apps Firebase configurator. We copy everything between the two comment lines. That's the two backslashes here. We hit just Control C. We're not gonna copy all of this, just this part of this script. Now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to paste it. And now I'm going to save it to my settings folder. There is my current file. And so I'm going to write over that. That's from yesterday. So I'm going to replace it with this new file. And now everything should be all set up. So sometimes just to make sure, right, I go back kind of to the beginning where we, nope, not that far into the beginning. It must be the start button. There we go. Nope, set up. So we scroll down. Let me do all these things. There it is. Copy this to our clipboard. And usually what I like to do is just run it once before I upload everything to Netlify, right? So I go through and the entire process and then I make sure that it goes from this, right, local page that am running, make sure that it actually gets deposited in the Firebase database just to make sure that nothing has gone wrong. So I'm going to pause and make sure that happens. So I'm going to do my own study for a hot second, and then we'll be back. All right, I ran through my EQ web sort locally, submitted it, and then when I go into my real-time database, ta-da, there it is. Here is my sort. And so now I am ready for my next stage, which is going to be to upload my website into Netlify for hosting. So I'm going to pause again and we'll be right back and I'll show you how to do that. All right, here I am in my Netlify site. We can see that I still have some, including some older things that I probably should get rid of here in my sites. So let's go now to, right, our upload part, right? So Netlify is going to be our host. I already have an account. I've already signed in, and so now I'm going to add a new site. Okay. And I'm going to deploy it manually. And now I'm going to just take my happy little folder here and drag it in. Doesn't seem like it drug in, so let's try that again. There we go. So now it's uploading. So, and it gives it just a goofy default name, which we're going to change. So now we come down here, right? Already did the deploy manually, already dropped that, right? Already uploaded. Didn't ask me if I wanted to, and now, let's see. So this is if you're going to do Google Firebase or Google Sheets. I need to skip ahead to, right, so GHI, right? So now I'm going to go to Site Configuration. And we're going to go and look at what's next. So I've done that. I'm going to scroll down and change my site name. Because as I mentioned, it's just a goofy name. Right? So change site name. So I'm not going to use their goofy name. I'm going to call it faculty attendance. And then they want me to re-enter it, and right, I just copy and paste it. And then save. Right? And then we need to see if there's anything else we need to do. So we did that, right? Again, right, we're not using the forms, so we can skip again, right? Skip again. So this is how to retrieve our data. So looks like we are all set. So I always test it to make sure that it at least opens, right? So here's my site, or overview, right? And oh, there should be a place where I can I mean, that's the name. I guess I can just copy that. And then I always come over here and test drive it. Oh, look, looks like it's working. Right, often I will go through the whole thing again, make sure that it uploads the final sort and information, post-sort questions into my database. But we are all set. So thankfully, Sean Banasek has made doing remote data collection in Q incredibly easy for us. So I am forever grateful. Again, if you like this video, please like it in YouTube and join or follow our Suzy Q website so that you can be alerted whenever something new is uploaded here on YouTube.